Hello, everybody. Hi, and welcome to this YouTube live event today. So today we're going to be discussing everything about accommodation here at Lund University. I'm going to be your host for today. My name is Diana Lopez Martinez. I'm a current student here at Lund University, and I'm studying my master's in applied cultural analysis. So with me, we have Danny, another current student, and we also have Martin from LU Accommodation. And I guess we're going to go ahead and start off with some quick introductions. Danny, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am from Guatemala and I'm studying food technology and nutrition. Been in Sweden for almost 2 years now, almost done in June. So yes, exciting stuff.
Oh, well, pleasure to have you with us. And Martin?
Yeah, I'm working at LU Accommodation. I've been working there for about 5 years. Mainly I work with allocation questions and the moving in, moving out process for new tenants.
All right, well, we're glad to have you here, an insider. I am going to be looking down at my phone sometimes. Don't worry, that's because I'm going to be reading the chat to hear from you. We're going to be talking about our own experiences, but we're also going to give you some advice, tips on how to look for accommodations and also what your options are. So we'll be taking your questions that are in the chat, and feel free to ask us things there. Just as a quick reminder, though, we are talking about accommodation at Lund. So any questions about scholarships or program admissions are not something that we can help you with today. There will be links in the chat if you have any questions about that. But before we get into it fully, we would love to hear where you guys are from. So if you could just leave it in the chat, where are you joining us from? Let's see here, from Nigeria, Liberia, hello, Ethiopia, Zambia. Wow, we got a lot of people.
Yeah. Exciting.
Pakistan, Germany, Philippines, welcome, USA. I'm also from the US. I didn't mention it, but I am born in Mexico and I'm here from the US.
Romania.
Spain, Jamaica, Greece.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, from everywhere. And we have 406 people joining us today. That's so cool. Okay, so I guess maybe we can go ahead and start going into the discussion. So finding accommodation can feel a little bit overwhelming, especially when you've gone through the entire process and you're like, okay, I'm going to Lund. Now I have to find a place to live. Fortunately, we do have a lot of experience. I personally have lived here in Lund. I have lived all around Lund, and now I live outside of Lund. So that's something that we can touch on is finding places not located here in Lund.
Yeah.
But let's see, before we get into the full discussion, maybe Martin, would you like to talk a little bit about the housing guarantee offered by LU Accommodation and what that means, like who is eligible to apply for the LU Accommodation specifically?
Yeah, sure. So we have a housing guarantee. It's a guarantee to receive one housing offer from LU Accommodation. Most students that have the housing guarantee are program students that pay tuition fees to Lund University. Then there are some exceptions, some exchange students that also have the housing guarantee. These students usually get this information very early on in the exchange process from the home university. So mainly it's for program students with that pay tuition fees.
Okay, perfect. So let's see here. I know that I was one of these students, and again, it's all going to be very specific depending on your situation, but I was a tuition paying student from the US. So I actually was in the process of applying through LU Accommodation, and I did get my offer. Were you also part of that process too?
No, so I applied as Spanish. So I gave up the opportunity of LU Accommodation. So as part of the European Union, we don't have to pay the fees. So we don't get this offer. So I had to go and look for accommodation somewhere else.
So LU does have that's one thing that, like, if you're not tuition paying, you aren't going to have that opportunity. However, when you are part of LU Accommodation and you are given offers, there is housing all across the city. What options are there with LU Accommodation? How many,
Yeah, so
places can we go?
we mainly have the corridor rooms is the most popular one, and then we have the studio flats as well that we offer. There's also a room in a shared apartment where you share the bathroom and usually a kitchen and bathroom and kitchen with another person. But you have your own room that you can lock and your space. That's the main types.
Yeah.
As you said, we're kind of spread out across Lund. We're not focused on a campus area. It's sort of the theme for the university. It's not everything is not in the same place. But this also means that we have a lot of maps and links on the website where you can check out where am I gonna study and which housing areas are beneficial for me.
And I also think that it's important to know everything is very bike distance friendly. So even though it seems a little far from the center or anything, biking here is super normal. I think everyone bikes everywhere. And even though it may seem like a 40-minute walk, it can be a 5-minute ride in a bike.
So either with the bike, but there's also lots of really good public transportation in general. So if you don't want to bike or something like that, there are lots of buses all around Lund. So even if you kind of look around, you're like, oh, maybe this place is pretty far out, I would always look for a bus stop. So buses are also a very convenient way to get around. I do want to ask, where was the first place that you ended up living here in Lund?
So I got scammed.
No!
So it's more common than one thing, and I think that we should go into some tips of how to avoid it. But I got scammed with my first apartment, and I got it through Facebook. The guy, so he didn't want to share a video, and the payments were weird. So I would say the first thing is if it seems off, that's your first clue. That shouldn't be like that. Another is that they always make a video call.
Yes.
And make them show you the apartment. Tell them, call me and we'll see the apartment and make a contract with them. When does it start? When does it end? How much they're going to charge you and what do they offer, right? If there is a laundry room in the basement or the electricity and all that stuff. They should put that in the contract. They also, I think Sweden has a very good transparency in seeing, if you look for someone in the internet, they can show you if they actually own the house or apartment that they are trying to rent. So if you look for the person and you cannot find it or the apartment that is not in their name, so that is a red flag, I would say.
Definitely. One thing, I did see it in the chat, how early should you find a place? And this is one thing that I think the earlier that you start, the better. I think as soon as I got my admission, I was like, okay, I got to start looking for a place. And that's where that process began. But I also want to say that just going off of what you were talking about, safety, is that especially the closer we get to arrival day, the start of courses, that's when, unfortunately, there are some people that might take advantage of students who really need a place. Okay. But still, definitely practice a lot of caution. Always ask for videos. And again, if you arrive here and you still don't have a place, that actually gives you the opportunity to go physically to visit the location to see if everything is legitimate. So practice safety and also definitely start your search earlier rather than later. I'm not sure if we have the specific dates for when the applications open for LU accommodations. Do you have that information?
So the application period is going to be 27th of April until the 12th of May. So if you're a student with a housing guarantee, it's very important that you apply during this application period. But then we're going to have an ongoing application process until usually it ends in September, because things happen and some students are canceling their contracts, and then we're gonna have someone else instead. Yeah. But 27th of April to 12th of May.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So that's good to keep in mind. Again, that is pretty soon after you should get your admission results. So 27th of April and 7th of May?
12th of May.
12th of May. Okay, thank you very much. However, again, once you get those offers from LU Accommodations, or maybe if you're not someone who is getting an offer from LU Accommodations, there are different options. Some of them are slightly associated with the university, in some ways not fully, but it is something that are more trusted in terms of services, and that would be Bopulen. I think it's bopulen.nu.
Yes, NU. Yeah.
Yes. And then there is also AF Bostader. I have actually found housing through both of those services, so that's definitely something that you should check out.
AF Bostader, I would just add, the queuing is not based on, like, some people have more priority than others.
Yes.
So even though when the like the room corridor or the apartment appears and you say first in queue, if someone else has a priority over you, so you're gonna go down the list. So make sure you have a lot of options in AF Bostader. Like, look at a lot of options, apply to as many as you like, and wait for a bit. It takes a while for you to get it, and they I think they open in July, right?
Yes, so AF Bostader is actually after you're able to kind of apply for Student Lund. So that's when you're able to get your membership there, and I do think that it is later on in the year. So June, July is when you'll actually have access to that queue, and that's actually very important to bring up, is the queuing system. So this may be the norm in your country, or this may be new to you. This was definitely new to me as someone coming from the US. We don't have a queuing system for housing. It usually is like, first come, first served, exactly. But in Sweden, especially with student housing, with LU Accommodations and AF Bostader, they have a system where you are being queued up. I think with LU Accommodations, there's also a bit of a lottery if you have
Yeah, it's not we call it a 24-hour lottery when you join. So if you join the housing queue, or if you join the application during the application period, so if you join it on the first day, the time you joined is randomized, so it's not beneficial for somebody who's in the same time zone as Sweden.
Yeah.
So it's just for everybody. It's randomized, and then you get a random time, and that sets your place in the queue. This means that in our queue, there is a lot of fluctuation in the beginning, like your position in the queue that shows on the housing account, that can change.
Yeah, I think it was something similar with AF Bostader if you're a novice.
Yes, because of course in AF Bostader you don't need to be a new student to apply for the housing.
Yes.
Like, as a second year, I can still apply for housing in AF Bostader. So I think the longer you're in, the priority goes up.
Yes.
And the novice have some priority, but I think that it's like a period of time.
Yes, so it's something similar like you described, that people kind of get, they get assigned times, and through that you also get assigned a different place in the queue. And that is a queue that is specifically for new incoming students. I also know that Bopulen is kind of outside of that. There isn't a queuing system in Bopulen. That is kind of a little bit more, it's people who are posting rooms that they have available, and some of them are located within Lund, some of them are located outside of Lund. But that's more like people are posting their own properties, and the way that you get in touch with those people is through the messaging system on there or through email. So when I was getting my housing, I actually decided, like, okay, I am not going to take this offer that I was offered by LU. I'm sorry, Martin.
Can happen.
Yeah. But, and so I went on Bopulen and I started looking through, and all of the ones that I decided, like, oh, I would like to live there, I went ahead and I sent an email to the person. I contacted them. I gave them like a little bit of a description about me, and I just kind of sent emails to as many people as I could.
Yes.
Because especially during that everybody's looking for housing, it does get a bit competitive. So you
It
have to
is.
put everything out there.
I was gonna say because I figured out I got scammed when I came.
Oh no.
So it was the week of introduction.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out I got a scam there, and everyone is looking for housing at that point. And I think everyone gets a little stressed out. I was very stressed out. And I know a lot of people helped me through it. And I went to Bupulin
Yeah.
and AF Bostetter, and I also the one that saved my life was Casey Housing, and I got a room corridor there, and it was pretty nice, very close to my department, which is the Chemi Centrum on the chemical engineering building. They have corridors, apartments, they really saved my life, and if they have availability, they will offer, or if not, well, yeah.
That's actually, you're bringing up something that maybe people might not be familiar with, and that is the corridor room.
Yes.
So how would you, I guess, Martin, how would you describe a corridor room to somebody who does not know what this is?
Yeah, it's yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it's you have your own small room, and then usually you have your own bathroom as well. But in some of the older buildings in Lund, you also have a shared bathroom. But then the main thing is you share the kitchen area and the communal area, like a living room, sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think for us in the US it's like a dorm.
Yeah, it's more like a dorm style.
It's a very dorm style.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd lived in a dorm style sort of building, but it was really nice. I specifically lived in Vildanden, so that's with AF Bostader, and I had a corridor room there. So I did have my own room with my own bathroom and shower, and a shared kitchen.
Yeah, I'd say I had my own room, my own toilet, but I shared the shower and the kitchen.
So yeah,
It's a mix. Yeah.
There's a mix of everything, I would say. Because
Yeah.
Vildanden are really nice. I would say.
they're really nice. I liked it.
I've been there in those corridor rooms. They're big, and you get your own bathroom, and the rooms are a very nice size actually, and the beds too.
Yeah. I just saw a question that I think is actually very interesting. Is it easy to find a place that accepts pets? So what about LU accommodations?
No, yeah. Unfortunately, we can't. It's not allowed in any of our housing, and this has to do with allergies mainly, and especially for the corridors. It's not possible to have a pet there.
Yeah. I know someone in the beginning, when I started my first year, I know someone was trying to find something with pets. It was not easy.
No.
She did spend like a few weeks trying to find something.
I think it's a little bit easier if you look privately and maybe on the second-hand options. You could find something there, but
Because there's also websites like Quasa,
Yes.
QASA.com. They have you can filter if you have a pet and what apartments they show up.
Definitely. So I currently live in an accommodation. So my housing is through secondhand. I live outside of Lund. I actually live in the countryside, and because it's in the countryside, my landlady's like, yes, pets are welcome. It's totally fine. She has animals. She has horses and everything. So it's, I found a situation where they were very welcoming to pets, but it is most likely going to be through the private. Finding someone who's okay with it. With AF Bostader, I think as well, they don't allow pets in their accommodations. So if you're looking through that might get a little bit iffy.
yeah. And usually the corridor rooms and the smaller student apartments are not suitable for.
Not suitable for
It depends on the pet as well, if it's a goldfish or if it's a.
That's true.
But mainly, I guess most have dogs and cats and those, yeah. Yeah.
That gets a little bit harder to find a place for. I also saw a question in the chat. Is there a nearest airport to Lund University? There sure is.
Yes.
So Copenhagen Airport is quite close to us. I do also want to talk about just getting around, like the general areas of Skåne. So do not limit yourself to just Lund if you are going to the university. Also keep in mind where your campus is. So if you have a campus in Helsingborg, here in Lund, or maybe you're going to Malmö frequently, make sure to just go ahead and explore the different cities around Skåne. You don't have to just limit yourself to Lund.
Because that's gonna be very hard. Like all of the students are looking for a place in Lund. I would say I live in Malmö right now. I moved in September, and I was a little hesitant to move because I thought the commute was gonna be hard. But I could say I go to the university every day. I take the bus. It's super straightforward. It takes me 20 minutes, which is super easy.
Yeah.
The yellow buses go so frequently. Every 5 minutes there's a bus. And Malmö is such a big city in comparison to Lund. I really like it. If you like big city vibes, Malmö is a very nice place. Also, they have, I recommend this place if you're looking there, base camp. A lot of the students find a room there. You have your own room, your own bathroom. There's a lot of students around. They have a lot of activities, gym, like everything included there.
I also would say it really depends. You know, you have to sit down and think about your lifestyle because both of you have mentioned living in Malmö.
Yeah.
And the commute is pretty short. The city's pretty big. And there's lots of food options too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very, and even in over the summer, they have so much to do.
Yes. Lots of like festivals and, you know, it's so much to do. I'm on the total opposite of that, where I decided to go farther north and I live in the countryside. So I'm not 100% sure with like pricing and everything, but part of why I moved to the countryside was also because for me it was cheaper and within my budget, and I also had a bigger space. There is a trade-off though. Y'all both mentioned a 20-minute bus commute from Malmö to the university, which sounds incredible.
Yeah.
I take a bus to the train and then I get to Lund, and that does take about 30 minutes. So it's not the worst commute in the world by any means. But you know, it's extra time, and sometimes like, oh, if the bus is delayed, the train is delayed, you can really feel that. But to me, that is kind of worth it for a lower rent. And there's a pony outside.
I would say. Yeah, as you said, it's like, what do you prefer, right? Like, I wanted to live in the city, and I wanted to expand a little. I am a 20-minute train ride from the airport, from Copenhagen Airport. There's also a little airport in Malmö, but it's not a lot of international flights, I would say, from that airport, if I'm not wrong.
I'm not certain anymore, but there's definitely a lot more. And Copenhagen is the big
one.
Yeah. So
And
that's
Copenhagen
the
is the big one.
Yeah.
And I think I explored Lund a lot, and I love Lund. Like, it's a very accommodating and very sweet town. But I do appreciate that city vibe, so I would prefer to.
Yeah, I go to Malmö for the funsies, and also Copenhagen had I had some classes that were in Copenhagen, so I was able to visit. But I think at the end of the day, well, for me, because right now I'm in the process of writing my master's thesis, so
Quiet
by myself, basically nothing else to do but write. Okay, let's get to it. We did have a question in the chat that keeps coming up, and I wonder if this is something that you would be able to answer, but they're asking about in LU accommodations, if someone has a spouse with them, are they able to live with their spouse in LU accommodations?
So generally, no. It can be arranged. We can sort it out if both are students and both are eligible for housing through LU accommodation. In that specific case, it can work out, but otherwise, it's we mostly have accommodations that are suitable for one person.
Yeah,
like it's adapted for one person, and then so you can't really move into a corridor or a shared apartment with a spouse or.
Those are also like those are smaller spaces. So again, it would get cramped, but also the logistics and all the, I guess, what's allowed, what's not allowed gets a little complicated with that. So I think if you're coming to Lund with a spouse, probably your best bet will be something through private means. I don't know 100% how AF Bostader manages that as well, but maybe something to look into, especially if you need a larger space for two people. But I think corridor rooms, for the most part, limit it to one person, and that's just kind of a general rule.
And you're also sharing that space with a lot of other people, and
exactly.
it wouldn't be fair. And there's also fire safety and stuff. That are issues.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We have one question. The accommodation costs vary on the place and type, right? Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yes.
It's been so, and also if it's a newer or older building,
Exactly.
I think that's almost the biggest one right now. That differentiates the price.
Definitely.
But of course, corridor rooms are cheaper because you have only one kitchen instead of everyone have their own.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a shared bathroom, that usually is cheaper as well because then you don't need water. Then it's just electricity and.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do think that it's really nice when you're living in a corridor room. So again, if you are, a single student and you are living and willing to live and share a kitchen with other people, it's going to be your most affordable option. Like the more you're willing to share, the cheaper that's going to be. And also the price of things like utilities and internet. For the most part with LU Accommodation or specifically, I'm going to speak from my experience with AF Bostader, all of my utilities were kind of included in that payment. I didn't have to set that up independently or anything, so that was really nice.
Yeah. For me, it was the same. Everything was included when I lived in the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
I only had to buy the internet
Router?
router.
Yeah.
I had to buy the internet router, which super easy. Lund has a lot of either second hand in a lot of chats.
Yes.
Or you can go to the store very close to the center, which is very affordable.
Yeah, I don't know about like general budget. Again, it's going to fluctuate a lot depending on where you're living, if it's going to be in Lund, central Lund, outer Lund, rural areas. I will say again, from my personal experience, the current place that I'm living in, it is shared, so it's split between two people. I live in Lund, so this is north of Lund in an area, maybe the city Kävlinge is more recognizable than Lund. But I am paying, like my part of the bills are about 4,000 crowns. So for me, pretty good price. But I know that when I lived in my first apartment, it was about like 6,500 crowns.
Yes, for the corridor that I was in, I was paying around 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think they increased it to 5,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And now I live in an apartment with a friend. So it's just the two of us in an apartment with 2 bathrooms and everything. So that in Malmo, so I do pay around between 6,000 and 7,000.
6,000 and 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And do you have any?
So I know there is, maybe we don't have it at the ready now, but there is a page on the Lund University website with the approximate pricing for incoming students. I think that calculation is very good, but you could also go to LU Accommodation's website in the student housing tab, and there you would find our accommodation types. There is sort of you can see the costs for LU Accommodation housing. This is including furniture, so it might be a little bit more expensive than the other options. Yeah, but you could get a approximate number from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Then it depends. If it's a newly built corridor can be expensive and cost 6,000-7,000, and an older apartment can be a little bit cheaper, even though you get a whole apartment. It's
It really is just going to fluctuate, and it's going to depend on what you find. I do think just be mindful of your budget whenever you're looking around. If your only option is 10,000 crowns and that does not work for you, then please, be mindful of your budget. Be wary of the pricing. I think the more that you look around and the more that you see is that, the prices are within like maybe 4,000 to like 8,000, I would say.
So.
That I think is generally what I see for housing costs for students.
And I will also be in mind, like, if you're worried that it's too far, there's always a bus, there's always a train.
Exactly.
There's always a way to get around, like, don't worry about that. It is true that they're maybe at night they're not going to be as frequent, but there's always something.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Because I moved to the countryside now, it used to be like, you're in Lund and you're out with your friends and you could be out, at the bar until like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's fine, you can get home. And I will say Sweden is also I feel very safe here, specifically in Lund. Mm-hmm. So, after I was done hanging out with my friends, I could walk home and it was a very short distance, or I could get a bus. The buses would run quite frequently, and again, it was a very safe, quick.
I would say so. Like, from my experience, I have gone out in Lund, in Malmo, and in Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
I think the latest I've been out is when I went to Copenhagen. I came back around 5 or 6
Mm-hmm.
a.m. I took the train, walked home. I felt super safe. I never felt in danger in any place in Lund or in Malmo. So I do know like everyone should be careful either way.
Definitely.
But I've never had a bad experience, in my opinion, and I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, me too. Definitely for everybody. I would say if you are okay with living farther out, maybe one thing that you can do when you're looking for housing is so we use the app here called Skånetrafiken, Skånetrafiken. Skånetrafiken, because I don't know, I'm saying it the Swedish way, maybe they can't understand it. But that way you can definitely really look at the very specific bus and train options. So they'll show you the combination of like how long would it get from point A to point B. So you
if there's any delays, if there's any sometimes the trains stop for malfunctioning or something, they will tell you. And when does it start again? Like when they have, if it starts again, they will be like, okay, it has been fine since 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And you can go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be your best way to kind of navigate. While, Google can tell you a lot, I think that app is going to be your best way to kind of determine the exact, distance, and also to just see all of the different like bus stop options that are located to like nearby where you're looking. So wherever your housing may be, if you want to see like, is there a bus stop near there? Mm-hmm. That's how you can check specifically if it's going to be available to you.
And you have your ticket there too?
Yes.
Very important that you always have your ticket.
Yeah, that's one way to also, if you're considering, when you're thinking about where to live and you're considering your budget,
yes.
Checking that distance from, let's say, your housing and that bus stop to Lund University, you can see how, what the cost of that ticket would be.
Yes, because there's also the monthly payment.
Yes.
And it will be cheaper than just buying it every time that you need it. But you also consider there, like, if that is out of your budget, if you will want to buy a bike, which it would be an initial investment, but then you would not pay anything. And you can always, like, you don't need schedules or anything. You always have a bike. Or if you don't want the bus or the bike, I would suggest trying to find something closer to at least your classes.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely when I was looking to like, okay, am I going to move to this place? I checked to see how much my monthly ticket would cost. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I was thinking, okay, rent plus this ticket, does this still work for me? Yes. I do have my bike, but another thing is just think about you as a person. Could I ride my bike all the way from Ladeshopping to Lund? No, I cannot. So
no, and I think no one notices, but Lund can be very hilly.
Yes.
And with the wind and the hill, that is...
It's a good workout. Yeah.
It's a very good workout.
Yes.
And I would say I was one of the ones, I didn't know how to ride a bike before I came here.
Oh.
And I refused to ride a bike. when I came here.
I was scared to ride a bike when I got here.
So I would say one of my priorities was that it's either walking distance, and I wasn't gonna take the bus. So I was like, I need a walking distance, at least 20. I didn't mind 30-minute walking, but I wanted to be able to walk. And then I learned how to ride a bike. So that wasn't a priority.
Well, you did it.
Yes.
You did it.
you learned somehow. I feel like with your friends, you're always on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though I'm pretty sure there are good bike lanes from Löddeköpinge, but it's just too far to do on a daily. If you're not an athlete.
I'm not that strong yet. I'm getting there.
Within Lund, it's usually the quickest. Like driving it's not a driving friendly city, Lund.
Yeah.
Especially not around the university buildings, I think.
My dad would say that.
Yeah.
He rented a car when he came.
Yeah.
Horrible decision, he said.
It's actually very funny too, because when you look on like Google Maps and you are looking to get somewhere to Lund, biking will always be
quicker,
the quickest option.
Yeah.
I also want to ask about someone mentioned about going back to the corridor rooms and sharing spaces. Do you have a general idea of if you're in a corridor room? I know that the numbers fluctuate, but is there a typical how many people are actually using that shared space?
Yeah, so there are some exceptions, but I would say that normally it's between 5 and 12 is this, and 12 being a high number.
Yeah.
But then we have some living spaces that, for example, we have Ideon Student House is one of our housing options that you can choose, and then you have your own bathroom and you have your own room, but you do share. It's like a little bit more like a restaurant style kitchen. So it's bigger, and actually all of the tenants have access to it. So it's 40 people for that kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And that comes with a slightly different issues than the smaller one.
Definitely.
That's a very special one. I'd say between 5 and 12 would be the normal. And usually most of them are maybe even 5 and 8, something like that. It's a good number.
I think even with that amount, I shared, I think it was with 8 people, I shared my corridor room and we shared a kitchen. It is not just, I don't know what maybe people are imagining, but it's not just one burner, one sink. In my situation, we had 2 burners. We did have one sink, but it was, we had a lot of space. We also all had our own specific little storage areas for our own food. We have 2 fridges, so there was plenty of space.
Yeah, for us we were 6, and it was 2 fridges, 2 stoves, 2 ovens, 1 sink, kind of thing. So it would be 3 and 3, and you had your own space in the freezer, in the fridge, and your cabinets. Yeah. I don't think I ever had a problem with any of my flatmates. Everyone had their stuff. Usually you have different schedules. It's easier than one thinks.
Yeah, definitely.
I think one thing 8, 12, and you're that kitchen is gonna be full every day. Not really.
No.
Not really.
There was definitely for me around 6 p.m. is usually when everybody would kind of go out. But there was enough space for everyone to do their own thing, heat up their food. If someone's using that burner, okay, I'll use this burner. It is all about just communication. Be nice to each other. Clean up after yourself.
Patience.
But it's not like a difficult situation. However, it can be difficult if you make it difficult.
Because at the end of the day, we all have to remember that we are all different, and we grew up in different places, and we have different customs.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you know how? There was one question about someone asking about having a car. If they were to have a car here, I'm not sure if accommodations here really come with parking spaces. So that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, we don't have any parking.
Yeah.
Most of our tenants does not have a car with them, but we don't have the parking. There are housing areas with parking around the housing area that you can rent, and then it's the municipality LKP, I think it's called. That's the Lund Municipality. They have the parking spaces there that you can rent. Otherwise, it's checking. There are a bunch of maps on Google or wherever you can search, where you can just find where's the parking spaces and who should I contact to get a space here. I would say some of them are a little bit expensive, especially the centrally located ones. And otherwise you do have parking spaces around the university buildings, so you could park there. I'm not 100% certain if students get a special deal for those or not, but it should be.
I have no idea. I think I haven't met anyone with that problem.
Yeah, So in that question, someone asking like, should I get a car also? So I would say no. There's really no need unless.
No need.
There really isn't a need to have a car here in Lund. Like we've been saying, bikes are king.
Bike, train, bus, walking. I think if you stay working here or anything, that's a whole other story, and you can judge it by yourself if you need it or not. But for your studies, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it.
So having a car does kind of complicate the issue.
Yes.
It's not necessary. And if you do have your car with you, finding accommodation that includes parking could be a bit of a challenge. Again, that might be something that would have to be done through private means, separate from your housing, in addition to your regular rent. We also had a question about kind of separation of in housing. Do we do mixed gender housing? How does that work with let's say LU Accommodation?
Yeah, for sure. For the corridors, it's just mixed. It can be. It's all by chance. Like you can end up with all female, all male tenants in a corridor, but usually it's just mixed up. Yeah. For the shared, for the room in a shared apartment, those ones we do have gender specific. But you can, in your application, you can add that information. If you want to share with, if you're male and want to share with male, or if you, whatever your preference. But I'd say usually it's just because both need to add the same information to get the mix.
I would say in Poland, there are some people that are renting rooms that they would say only girls, only boys. I do know some of my friends, they were living in one that it was only girls. So if that is a very important thing, that is a very important filter for you, I would say corridor rooms are not the best one, because that usually is just depending who gets it. And then there are the apartments or when you rent a room that you can filter out that if you only want girls or boys.
Yeah. So for the most part, if it is LU or in a corridor room, you have to be comfortable with all sorts of things being included.
Everyone is very respectful, I would say.
Yeah.
I haven't had any problems with it.
Yeah, me as well. And actually, I was in a situation where I was in a corridor room, but everybody in my corridor was a woman. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it just happened by chance. You never know. Sometimes it works out like that. Sometimes it doesn't. But again, just be open to that if you're applying to a corridor room.
Yes.
Excuse me. Alrighty. So a shared apartment is different from a corridor room. I don't know if we...
Yeah, so shared apartment is usually two bedrooms and then connected with a hallway. And in the hallway there is a kitchen area and a bathroom that is shared. But it is only two people living in there.
Yeah, so the corridor room, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, is very much a dorm style. So a lot more people, and you have smaller, more compact spaces, from sometimes up to 8 people, maybe a little bit more. And you share the kitchen. Sometimes you share showers. Sometimes maybe you might share a bathroom as well, a toilet. But apart from that, I also want to talk a little bit about, just for you who are seeking accommodation somewhere, the differences between your country maybe and Sweden. So I know in Sweden, when you're looking for apartments, studio, 1 room, 2 room. That means something different here.
That is true. I totally forgot about that when I was applying for apartments last year.
Yeah.
So when it's 2 rooms, it's not exactly 2 bedrooms.
Yes.
It can be like 1 bedroom and then another room, like where you would put the living room, let's say like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you can use it like a desk or anything. But so it's just they usually put like the map of the apartment, so you can see exactly like, because I would say my apartment right now, which is 2 bedrooms and 1 living room and the kitchen, I would say that was a 3 room. Because it was 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, kind of.
Yes.
There are 3 rooms on the apartment, I would say.
Yeah, they don't do that specification of like, oh yeah, it's only bedrooms. No. The living room is included as one of those rooms when you're kind of filtering through things. So if you, a lot of people are asking about accommodations with with a spouse, I mean. So if you are needing more than 1 bedroom, if you have children with you, anything like that, we would suggest maybe looking, starting from 3 bedrooms or starting from 3 rooms. That's when it's 2 bedrooms moving up. Do you have any comments to say about that in terms of LU accommodation?
No, we've tried to. We've had this communication issue as well, and we've remade the website and the housing portal a little bit, but we do have a page with floor plans, and there it's because we also put the tiny furniture in there in the floor plan as well. So you can just check it out. How many rooms have a bed? Then you'll see that. But yeah, it is an issue. Most of the student accommodations have only 1 bedroom though, except for the one that you shared with another person.
Yeah.
And the other person, keep in mind also for these accommodations, it's going to be a person. Usually, it's going to be a person that you don't know.
Because you can't. If I would be coming with someone, you wouldn't be able to like be. Can I share my apartment with Diana?
There is an option for that on the housing portal, but it would. You would have to very early on in the process decide this. You would keep in mind as well that if you are just friends and maybe you don't know each other that well, how it is to live together, because this is your one offer you get from us. So if you're not happy with sharing later on, you won't be able to change to another one. Then you would have to find something else. So that it's important to keep in mind as well.
Yeah. The commitment.
Yeah, the commitment.
Commitment, really.
But if you both have a housing guarantee, for example, and if you're both in the queue in a good position to where we can offer, then we can arrange that. And the system, the housing portal do have that. You add each other's information, and then it can allocate you together, if possible. It's not something we can guarantee at all, but
at least it's something that you guys can try if you want.
Definitely. Someone was asking if in corridor rooms if furniture is included. So that is going to be dependent.
Yes.
I'd say so LU Accommodation have included furniture. I think most other don't. There are some that do, but you've mentioned a few of them. But then it's usually something that they put. They have very clear information on the webpage that furniture is included here. I would say the norm is that furniture like a bed or a desk or a chair is not included.
In AF Bustetter, I know that it is when you go and see the information about the place, it does says no furniture or furnished. One thing is that if it's not furnished and you like get your bed and everything, you have to make sure that when you leave, you have to take it with you.
Yeah, so that's something to consider.
Yes. A good thing about AF Bustetter, they have these green rooms. A lot of people, when they are moving out, they put a lot of their stuff there. I have a lot of my friends have found air fryers, beds, a couch. Yeah. Like those are really cool rooms. All of the buildings have one. So if you get one of those that are not furnished, you can go to those rooms and they're completely free. You can it's like first come first serve. Whoever wants it gets it. There's also a lot of secondhand shops where you can buy beds, everything. and also IKEA.
Yeah, IKEA's here.
IKEA.
It's also a thing, yeah.
Yeah, so also
Yeah,
a thing.
All new LU students have to make the pilgrimage to the Malmö IKEA to get everything that they need.
Towels.
But
Yeah.
that is one thing that I guess we have to really stress is that when you're looking at these ads, always look at the floor plan and look at the specific information if they say that it is furnished or if it is not furnished. And if they don't have those details listed, let's say in a private accommodation, you should comment, you should ask, you should email. We do have about 9 minutes left, so we're going to be closing up. Let's see if we have any more additional questions. Let's see here. Boplatz Syd, Home Q, Hemstaden Base Camp, Hemma Malmö. Yes, so those are all places where you can look for private accommodation. Definitely keep looking around. Facebook, you did mention Facebook
Yes.
as an option.
I
as
wouldn't
well.
I wouldn't rule it out because I know a lot of people that have found apartments or rooms through Facebook. Just be careful. Just get the tips that we said before. Make sure that when they say, okay, let's show you the apartment, they video call you, they show you everything works, a contract with everything written. Make sure that the person that is saying that's gonna rent you the apartment actually owns the apartment, and that is Sweden has a very open thing in Google. You can find it. Just you can ask them for their personal number.
Or their name as well.
And their name, I think, yeah, they can match it, and it can show you there exactly.
I'd say also a very good place to start is Bopolen that you've mentioned before. It is a collaboration between the university, the student unions, and the municipality of Lund.
Yes.
And they do have they have a guide for housing, and then they have a list of landlords as well.
Yes.
And that is
can be very helpful if
Yes.
when you're starting out to just
I would start there before I go to Facebook.
Definitely.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will start in Bopol, and like there's always something, and also to keep in mind that you have the nations. If you need anything, all the nations they have is it rooms?
They have their own kind of almost like their own like corridors and
Yes.
apartments. It really depends on the nation, but yeah, those are also options.
Yeah, and they're pretty affordable, and you get to be part of the nations and help out and be part of the events and everything. It's very fun, I would say.
Yeah, I have some friends that live there, and especially if you're really involved, it is really nice to just be super close to that. And a lot of them are fairly close to campus, so that is an option to keep in mind. I'm not sure specifically how their processes go. I do know that somewhere like Smålands has their own housing queue, so that is again another system where there is a queuing process.
Yeah, all of them have their own housing queue,
Yes.
and then you apply, and it's it differs from the nation how many accommodations they have, but they have a lot, so it's not. You have a good chance to get accommodation there if you apply to all of them. But yeah, definitely, it's one of the best things with Lund University, I think. So you should definitely check it out.
Definitely.
And even though you don't live there, you should check them out when you come here.
100%. Especially that first week, the novice period. Go around to all the different nations, check out, and who knows, like maybe you'll find one that really fits your vibe, and later on you can move in there once you understand their culture a little bit more. Speaking about Boplatz and also just the different websites that we have through LU, definitely I know that there was a comment going on like, oh, I'm a little scared, I don't have that information on the market. I'm not familiar with the area. I don't know about you, but I started with, I think Boplatz has a part of their website where they have information on like how to avoid scams, how to look for housing in Lund, and for me personally, that was a very helpful place to start.
Yes, I do know that they have they even a tab, I think, like avoid scams or something.
Yes,
like that.
I think they have that on their website.
And just read that before applying to anything. If you're doing private or Bopol or anything, just read that and make sure you follow the steps that they tell you. If they're trying to avoid it, that's a red flag. Like if they tell you like my camera is not working or anything, that is a red flag.
100%.
So they usually, everyone is super like helpful here. Like if you say let's make a call and I want to see it, they will do it. Like it's not there shouldn't be anything that stops them from going through the steps that are mentioned there.
Yeah. And in terms of just going through this process, while we have said that maybe Facebook could be a little iffy, I know that there's a lot of students that are looking for housing, and that might be a way to get in touch with other students. But also Unibuddy and Going. I think Going is the app that you can go on and actually talk to students who have already been admitted. Through the Going app, I remember when I had found I actually got 2 offers for housing, and obviously I only needed 1. Because I had the community of students on there, I was able to kind of give another student, like, here is the housing, I know that you need it, here, get in touch with this lady. And we were able to kind of help each other out on that app. So get in touch with your community if you do know anybody here or know anybody in your program. Reach out to them if you need that extra help from, maybe a person who's in a similar situation.
Sure. Because there are a lot of people in that situation, more than you think.
Definitely. So any closing remarks? We have about 3 minutes. I'm going to see if we have any other questions. Is the $4,000 to $7,000 a month monthly or annual payment? So we are talking in crowns, and that is monthly.
Yes, that is monthly, and we're talking about Swedish crowns.
Swedish crowns.
Because they're different crowns.
Yeah.
I figured that one out my first time in Copenhagen. And it wasn't the same.
It is.
It's not the same. No.
It's not the same.
Danish crowns are really something. It's a lot more.
They're worth more,
Yeah. Also, one interesting thing about corridor rooms, depending on the corridor room, sometimes you don't have to make 12 monthly payments. Sometimes they have 9 monthly payments. So check on the listing, see what they are asking you to pay.
And they also offer it in AF Bostader for a lot of stuff. Just do 9 months instead of 12, and you can keep your stuff there.
Yeah.
Over the summer.
So this is we at LU Accommodation also have this 11th month. So July is a rent-free month.
Yeah.
But you should check for the specific housing as well.
Yeah, just
what applies there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But in terms of budgeting, sometimes that's nice to check out on the listing to see how many payments are going to be needed there.
Exactly.
But I guess, let me just see if we have anything. We have 2 minutes left with you. So the accommodation apps, so we should have some of them listed, but Bopoolen, LU Accommodations, of course, if you are able to apply for those. AF Bostader.
And anything private could be from Quasa.com. I don't know.
Boplatsen.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I still think it's a great way.
Sometimes with Facebook, if you really want to try there. But again, even just through word of mouth, maybe if you get in touch with someone from your program, they're leaving, you're coming in, hey, maybe you can sort something out there.
You can try with an ambassador, that's true.
But I guess now, because we're closing up, we only have 1 minute left, so we're going to be coming to the end of this YouTube Live now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm sorry that we couldn't answer every single question, but we tried our best. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining in the discussion. I hope that this was interesting, helpful. Maybe we told you some things that you didn't know about yet. Some things that are a little bit different with Swedish housing. We hope that was helpful for you. Again, whether it's through LU Accommodation, AF Housing Lottery, Bopoolen, or anywhere else. If you have any questions about housing, feel free to get in touch with the Lund University staff via the form linked in the description of this stream. Or, Martin, what's the best way to get in touch with LU Accommodation?
Definitely through email. So just email LU Accommodation at service.lu.se. Yeah.
You heard it here. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be having other live streams. We'll talk about live events, videos, and shorts about student life here, studies, and everything to do with Lund University. So we wish you all the best. Thank you so much. best of luck with all of your future plans, and we hope to see you at any of our other upcoming events. Bye! Thank you.